alam mo, they used to drive fishermen away, fisher folks, along the coastal ranges of the Philippines. Nung nagtapos kami, sir, na nag-usap, yung mga visits ko sa China, they allowed fishing. So they were allowed to enter, except in some prohibited areas, especially the lagoon there, in the middle of the sea. Hinahayaan na lang muna na inana nila tayo. They never did anything that was provocative or anything punitive against our fisherfolk, our fishermen. I don't know now, because maybe the line is becoming clear that we are more, not really forceful, but a little bit stronger now in our dealings with them. But I would like to assure, I said to China, I assure you guys that nothing of a sort of a placing their arms against you. Even if we put our entire Navy ships there, we will not start a war because we cannot afford it. I was just being frank to everybody. And China understood us. And that is why I said when the pandemic started, I knew right away the problem. The problem is we do not have it. We do not manufacture it. So I called President Xi. Sabi ko sa kanya na Mr. President, we do not have the resources. We have not reached that sophisticated level of technology to do a mass manufacture of vaccines right away, and even to find one. Sabi ko, wag mo lang kaming kalimutan. And he said, yes, of course, we are friends. So he said, I'll send you. So the first vaccines that arrived in the Philippines were donated by China. And now these idiots in the other side, para bang sinasabi, lumunod, I kneel down before China because of I asked help from China. So I said, look.
Sa totoo lang, Mr. President, kagaya nung sinabi ko na pag kung titingnan ninyo, ang China, ang kino-question lang niya sa atin, yung claim natin doon sa West Philippine Sea. They do not question yung core territory natin na binakuran na natin under the UNCLOS. Rine-recognize nila yan. Pati yung Benham Rice, hindi nila pinagkikialaman yun. Sapagkat sa kanilang paningin, against everybody on this planet, they discovered all of these islands themselves ahead of time, just like the Europeans discovering Asia and Western Hemisphere in the past. Yan ang kanilang position. Kaya, we leave the problem there and then talk to them friendly in order that we can get a better deal with China. We have to deal with China. We cannot afford to antagonize China.
That's my position, sir, ever since. So, ganito na lang. Ito yung paghingi ko rin ng bakuna, inisyo, sabi ko, no, it's not wrong to express gratitude. Binigyan tayo ng wala eh. Yung panahon na kailangan natin, binigyan tayo. Ano ba naman, tapos makipagira ka pa sa panahon ito, wala ka nga ng bakuna eh, bakuna lang.
Tumutulong naman sila sa atin.
Yeah, so, they are picturing me to be a traitor. Ano daw ako yung, I am a traitor to my country, and that's treason. Sabi, gusto ko magsalita dito ng ano, pero
Noong panahon ni Trump po ba, meron kayong nakuha na tulong? Noong panahon ni Trump. Wala tayong makukuha dyan. Kami nga eh. 20 years po ako sa gobyerno ni Presidente Marcos. Panay second hand ang binibigay sa atin yung mga bulok nilang mga barko. Yung Sikorsky natin, hindi nila binigay yun. Binili natin yun. Pera ng Pilipino yun. Hindi nanggaling sa bulsa ng Amerika.
let you in sa pangyayari, sir, sa presidency ko vis-a-vis with America. One is early on, we need something like so many Armalites, thousands, 23,000, I think, for the PNP. Alam mo, hinold yan ng Congress because they said that human rights violator daw ako and it will be used against my citizens.
Matagal na lang, hindi lang ikaw po ang ginandyan nila. Si Presidente Marcos nga eh.
Tsaka yung helicopters ko, nag-order ako, tapos gusto kong i-cancela, but they reconfigure the route of the, kasi nag-back out ako sa deal, but we were able to succeed by selling helicopters to us, Bell helicopters, but made in Poland. So, kasabi ko kasi, guys, I am not really begging you for these choppers. If you cannot give it to us without strings attached, and without any criticism, I'll buy. Pero kung iba, sabi ko, I'll go to Russia and buy. So, yan ang sinabi ko sa kanila. And they softened. At eventually, pinadala nila yung... yan ang problema sa... one thing, the problem with America is human rights kaagad. The lobby is so strong that, the State Department, the lobby, the State Department is inhabited by a cross-section of different race. So there's a conundrum of, the discussions there. One high, maybe high-level official who comes from a Filipino stock would lobby for his country, and then the other one. So, hindi talaga natin maintindihan itong State Department. That's why I said, I would like to stay away from you.
Nung panahon namin po, nung panahon ni Presidente Marcos, I requested for a squadron of F-16s. Ayaw nila po magbigay. Basta sabi nila, tama na yung mga F-5s ninyo. Pati helicopters, yung mga luma na helicopter nila ang binibigay sa atin.
Nagbabagsakan, sir.
Nagpunta ako sa Connecticut, doon sa pabrika ng Sikorsky. At bumili kami ng Sikorsky, pero ng Pilipinas. Hindi galing sa Amerika yun. Kaya pinagbayad natin. Nung araw, hindi nagbabayad ng renta ang Amerika sa base militar nila eh. Libre. Wala silang binabayaran. Kaya dahil dun sa karanasan namin, pinagbayad namin sila ng renta. At saka, noong presidente na si Cory, at matatapos ng termino ng military bases, pumunta dito si Armitage. Trinabaho niya yung extension. Kinausap ako ni Armitage kung pwede na tulungan ko sila. Sabi ko, hindi pwede, Richard. Ako, ang kaisa-isang opposition senator ni Cory. 23 ang senador niya. Bakit hindi niya maipasa yung extension? I have to take an opposition position. I will vote against the extension. Nung primero, kami lang dalawa ni Bobby Tanyada against extension. Sumama sa amin sila Joey Salonga, sila Maceda, sila Sotero Laurel, dami. Kaya naging 11 senators of Cory plus me made 12 to terminate the military bases agreement.
That they have substituted it with another ruse system, itong visiting forces agreement. Now, under that agreement, it is entered into by Aquino again. It's up for renegotiation. And that power belongs to the president. I should have an idea hearing from you what I should do.
Kaya ipaulit-ulit ako na iba yung gobyerno ng Amerika sa mga mamamayan ng Amerika. I-distinguish natin yun. If you are dealing with the government of America, you are dealing with a bureaucracy that talks about nothing else but their core values and their national interest. Kaya human rights, democracy, I agree. Freedom, all that. But sasabihin sa iyo, they are charitable to us. Ang gobyerno nila, madidisappoint po yung mga kritiko natin just sa bagay na yan.
So, this may order now to the cabinet and to all and sundry, yung talking for the government to refrain discussing itong West Philippine Sea with anybody. If we have to talk, we talk, and tayo-tayo lang, and there is one spokesman, si Secretary Harry will do it. Now you get the picture.
Mr. President, if I may suggest, we get what we can get from China on the West Philippine Sea, use it to strengthen our military capability and exploit Benham rice, Philippine rice.
Yes, sir. Benham rice is exclusively Philippine property.
Yes, that's right, sir.
I have made it clear to the world, that I will not allow any intrusion there. Well, of course, the right to innocent passage is everybody's privilege. But to allow anybody even to just try to exploit or to even to look, I will not allow them to do that, because that Philippine rice belongs to the Filipino people.
All I can say, Mr. President, is we must do everything to avoid irritating China or giving China a reason to
Be angry.
deal with our core territory, because our core territory is very important to China. It's like a fence from the Kuril down to Honshu, all the way to Ryukyu, Formosa or Taiwan, to the Philippines, all the way to Indonesia. That's the first line of defense of America. And they cannot penetrate that. The only way for them to get out of the West Philippine Sea is either they go up over Hokkaido and exit in La Perouse Strait, or they pass through the Strait of Luzon between Taiwan and Batanes, or they go south and veer east behind Balabac and pass through the Sulu Sea to the Celebes Sea. That's why we must never give China a reason to attack our core territory.
We have enjoyed the best.
That is the bottom line.
We have the best of
Nothing more,
relations.
nothing less.
We have the best of relations now. We will not wait that. We will not waste that.
Bakod tayo ng China from our northernmost island, Amianan, all the way to Sabah. Parang bakod yan sa kanila. Bigyan mo sila ng rason para invade you. Ano magagawa ng Amerika? They will not risk a nuclear war with China for us.
The next war will be fought on nuclear peace. Wala na yung conventional, sir.
Wala
If it
na.
is war against big powers, it will be a nuclear war. And it will reduce this planet into a dry land.
Vulnerable din ang Amerika. Yan nangyari lang sa kanila, yung pipeline nila. That's already a signal that there is some vulnerability on them. Tayo rin, we are vulnerable. If we irritate a country like China, we cannot patrol all our islands from the north all the way to the Sulu Sea. We are a porous country.
Yeah, very poor.
Kung ang mga Hapon nga, they were not able to guard the coastlines of the country. That's why the Americans were able to supply us with firearms in March of 1945 already. When the war broke out in 1941, December of 1941, the only time that the Americans came to us to help us, the guerrillas I'm talking about, was March of 1945. That's a period of agony for the country. MacArthur abandoned us. And then they wrecked Manila. They destroyed. The Japanese did not destroy Manila. It was destroyed by the
The
Americans.
heaviest bombing to occur in Southeast Asia at the time was when they bombed Manila to rubble. So, I would like to just study very carefully with the advent or with the coming of the renegotiation of the visiting forces agreement. Something has got to give. It could not be nihinuhay lang sa atin. At least in my time. But I said, I made it clear that, well, I have not been to America for the longest time. The last visit was about 10 years ago, and President Trump invited me several times, but I said, for as long as you treat us like, something which is an inferior, ginagawa mo lang kaming detachment ninyo. You are making the Philippines a sort of an early warning device detachment. Bago mag-abot ng Amerika. And I said, this cannot happen during my time.
Mr. President, critics you'll always have. If I were you, I would not mind them. Just mind history, the Filipino people.
Yes, sir. So, alam ng tao ngayon bakit ako hindi sumasagot. And this is the best advice that I got ngayong gabing ito. So, it's been a long talk. Sir, I would like to thank you again for...
Mr. President, gratis et amore.
Nalaman ng
Beck and call.
Filipino. To me, you're the only one that matters. So, if you say that I do not waste my time with them, so I will not waste my time to them. And this will be the beginning tonight, rather. Hindi na ako mag beginning tonight, hindi na ako
sagutin, Mr. President. They will enjoy that if they are being answered by President.
Okay. I said, everything is clear to us. Mga kababayan ko, I do not talk fluent Tagalog, but everybody understands the Tagalog dialect. At least narinig na ninyo sa ating one of the best minds of our generations. Sa bunganga niya, what is really the score between the salting of China and the Philippines, and how we are navigating peacefully to avoid trouble with China. It is not to our advantage, as the Senator has said, that we go out and quarrel with China. Ako wala rin akong nakita. So, the Senator is one with me. I am happy that I said one of the best minds of ating generation has agreed with me. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.